Hello, and welcome to my weekly story about the inspiration and ideas that led to the poems in my collection Between Hindsight and Foresight. Today's poem is called Tapestry. So, Tapestry is in the second half of the collection, but it's probably one of the older poems. I have a clear memory of writing this poem or something like it in the latter half of my high school time. I have previously, on Behind My Poem Stories, I have read out the original form to show the differences in the writing techniques and the writing ideas of these particular poems. But one of the main problems with looking for that in Tapestry is I think I may even have changed the title. So when I went earlier today, when I went looking for the original version so I could share it with you, I couldn't actually find it. I remember writing the poem as a rhyming poem, very traditional, very structured, very verse forms with rhyming lines and all of that. And it was when I started teaching maybe 10 years ago, maybe a little earlier, and I started looking at my old material and revamping some of it with a view to creating the collection that I found Tapestry as one that would be worth revamping and worth updating to something closer to what I wanted it to be. And when I did that, I either completely changed the title or I erased the original, which is very unlike me, and I don't know why I would have done that. But the altering of it, when I updated it, when I changed it, when I made it into what it is now, is an experiment or one of my earliest attempts at using free verse as a specific form. So when I looked at it for today's video, I remember it being longer. And I don't know why I remembered it being longer than it is in the collection, but maybe it's because the idea of the poem is over a longer period of time, or maybe the concept of tapestry as big picture, as don't just look at the single kind of messy thread on the edge of your existence, but see the whole weaving, the whole picture. So, right, so the form that it's in now was one of the first times I used free verse and consciously chose to have single words on a line, consciously chose to change the verses based on the vocabulary and conceptual idea that was within the verse, and not have regular verses or specific numbers of lines per verse, specific number of words per verse or syllables per verse. I went full free verse and let the idea guide the shaping of the poem, and more specifically the thin lines, the short lines, to make it visually almost look like a thread as conceptually part of the poem, part of the idea of the tapestry of weaving individual threads onto a picture of life through a particular story. This is one of those kind of classical mythology ideas of the loom of fate, that your thread gets woven with every other thread to create the tapestry of time. And so this is very much the thematic ripple effect, how we each add to that pattern on the tapestry of time, how each thread and each moment or twist in that individual thread creates the pattern of our lives, and how throughout our life, our thread interacts and twists and weaves with other threads to create a more societal picture, to create a more historical picture, and that our thread, while we feel alone, the idea of this poem is meant to combat that feeling of alone, to to go against that idea, to contravene that concept that we are alone and nothing that we do matters, because everything we do matters. Everything that we do interacts with what someone else does, either responding to it or affecting it. We respond to others, others respond to us. Our single thread affects 5, 10, 15 people a day. Some people who have more access to society or media personalities will have an even greater ripple effect on society. So what they say matters. But what everybody does in their day-to-day life, how each one of us acts and chooses to act and respond to others, does change the pattern, change the tapestry. And so the whole idea of Tapestry is to encourage all of us to look at the big picture, to get past a specific moment in our life, to see the whole kind of strand of our life from the beginning forward to what will be the future and the choices that we make. And so that we can let go of those moments and see it as one big story where a bad day here means that when we're having a good day and we see someone else having a bad day, we can give the benefit of that experience to that person and help maybe make their day a little easier. So Tapestry as it is now is meant to establish that idea and to make us think about that idea and how each one of us interacts with the people around us. It also links in with the title of the entire collection in a less subtle way. I was explaining the title to someone this week, where the reason why this particular collection, as my first collection, is called Between Hindsight and Foresight is because many of the poems, including Tapestry, are from decades ago, and a number of the poems are from last year. So it is a long kind of wandering walk through what I used to be and what I used to know when I was younger and what I know now and what I think about as far as the future. And so Tapestry encompasses that in a poem and links in with the title of the poetry collection and the idea of the poetry collection, that it is a pathway. It is a combination of individual moments that string together to create who I am. So when you read Tapestry, start thinking about your own life and your own ability, your own effect on other people. And feel free to share this video, rambling as it is, and other videos from stories behind the poems in Between Hindsight and Foresight. I am on Instagram and Twitter, and this will be posted to both the Facebook page for the book and to my YouTube channel, also all under the handle Leah-The-Dreamer. Thank you for listening, and I hope to hear from you soon. I will be having a poetry workshop this Sunday, which you can still sign up for. The event is on my Facebook page, and the tickets, the free tickets for the workshop, are also available on Eventbrite. It is a haiku-themed workshop, so if you've ever wanted to write a haiku, it might be a good opportunity. Thank you again for listening, and I'll see you guys next week.